Hello everyone, this is L&P's The Huddle. I'm Tim Gross, joined here by John Walk and Dave Byrne. Guys, it's cooling down, it's in October. Playoff races are heating up in high school football. It's week 7 like we said, and we've got some games to talk about. So let's start with our game of the week. Pequea Valley at Lancaster Catholic. The Braves are 4-2 coming off a week off because they played at that weird week 0 game. Lancaster Catholic 3-3, and the Crusaders had a pretty big win against Elko last week. So you think with these two teams so close in the district power rankings, how do you see this one playing out?
Well, I like the Crusaders, and I'm not just saying that because junior wide receiver David Cook will call me out if I pick otherwise. And here's why I say that. Earlier in the year, we saw Lancaster Catholic. We thought they were going to be pretty good as they progressed through the season, and they have done that. But my thing was Brian Downey was just doing too much as the quarterback, and that's fine, but I just felt like everything was thrown on his shoulders. They're kind of a one-sided offense, which is fine too. But if you take away the passing game, they really didn't have that much. And then these last 2 weeks, they've really exploded. They put up an average of 167 rushing yards per game the last 2 weeks. That's compared to an average of 55 rushing yards in the first 4 weeks. So they've found a way to run the ball. They're a balanced offense, and I think they're slowly improving, and they're on a roll, whereas Pequea Valley is kind of otherwise. So I'm going to go with Catholic this week.
Yeah, I didn't know what to make of this. It's the number 1 and number 2 defenses overall in the section. Pequea number 1, Catholic number 2. But Pequea is last in the section in passing defense, which kind of is a big red flag for me because Brian Downey can wing it a little bit. So I'm kind of leaning towards Catholic. What the heck?
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think you looked at Lancaster Catholic's loss to Anvil Cleona, and I was like, what do we have here with them? But turns out Anvil Cleona is really turning it on too. So I think looking back on it, that might not have been as bad a loss as you would have expected it to be at the time. So I think they're really kind of getting momentum. They got a lead against Elko. They led 21-7 at halftime last week. So I think that was a big step for them. And I think they'll kind of continue that momentum, whereas Pequea Valley might have trouble getting it together quicker because of the off week last week. So I'm picking Lancaster Catholic. Also, in Section 2, we've got Cedar Crest at Solanco. Cedar Crest was a pretty big story so far this season. They were 4-1 going into last week. Lost to Cocalico. Solanco might have been in a rebuilding year. They're 2-4, but last week they really put it on against Lampeter Strasburg. So is Solanco kind of figuring it out, or are the Mules going to have trouble against Cedar Crest?
They're figuring it out offensively, not so much defensively, because they still gave up 33 points and a bunch of yards, and their defense hasn't really seemed to take that next step as the offense did last week. So that's why I'm going to take Cedar Crest this week, because Solanco loves to run the ball, but look at Cedar Crest's schedule the last 2 weeks. They played a good Garden Spot team that loves to run the ball, and they won that game by 4 points. And then they played an even better Cocalico team that loves to run the ball, and they were in that game until the very end. Solanco is not on par with Garden Spot or Cocalico, I don't believe, unless their defense finds a way to step up this week. So I'm going to stick with the Falcons.
Yeah, I like Cedar Crest too. Justice Bellarmine, he can really run the rock. And I just think he's going to control the game. Solanco's coming off a stop the bleeding victory. Cedar Crest is coming off a loss. They're going to be looking to make a statement, and I like the Falcons.
Yeah, Cedar Crest really hung in there against Cocalico last week, which was pretty impressive. The steps they've made defensively and all around just to stay in those games and put themselves in a pretty decent position going down the stretch here. I think they continue that, and after Solanco really made a point and they really turned it on against teams late in games last week, they didn't let up at all. And last week it was kind of a sign that maybe they aren't on that level where they had a lead on Lampeter Strasburg and they really had to fight to keep it at the end. So I'm going to take Cedar Crest as well. Those are our picks. Be sure to tune in every Thursday afternoon and check out LancasterOnline.com every Friday night for all our coverage from the LL League football scene. Thanks for tuning in.